Welcome Aries to your August 3rd to August 9th forecast. You can see the transits listed. We're going to focus on Mars entering Libra on August 6th, highlighting your love and relationships. So Mars in Libra is going to soften the Aries warrior energy into heart-led negotiations. So stop charging your head alone and invite connection and listen as you lead. Let's see what else we have for you this week, Aries. I'm likely going to take many of these upright unless I feel called to. Well, okay, we have it in reverse here already with the Spirit of Rings. Okay. So you may be feeling like you want to take a little bit of a rest here. So you may be feeling a little bit of resistance in your relationships. You may feel like there's a little bit of clarity that's needed, or someone may just not be saying what's on their mind, or there may actually be like some things going on where there's a little bit of deception going on that you're trying to figure out, and you're trying to understand like what is truly going on. Like you're trying to sort of look excuse me, beneath the surface and figure out like what is it that needs adjusting, what is it that we need to work on, what is it that we need to address here. And then we have effort here. So you may be, again, just deciding like, okay, what are our next steps here? How are we going to proceed or move on? So it could have likely been something that did occur, an incident, or it could be you just deciding like, look, there's been a lot of little things going on lately that just make me feel less connected with you, or just in your relationships or with your partnership here. And you may be trying to figure out like, what's the reason for that and how can we get back on track? And it may be due to someone feeling a lack of security in some way, or a lack of being supported in some way, or feeling like you're not able to truly express yourself and who you are and what your needs are. Let's see what else. Okay, so we do have opportunity here, as well as the Queen of Wands with passions. Okay, so there is opportunity to sort of reignite the passions, but you may find here as we get into the obstacles that is going to be a little more challenging for you at this time, because you're feeling like you need to work through whatever this is that's creating some distraction here. So you may want to know the truth about something. You may want to really evaluate what your options are and try to figure out if like, excuse me, it's something that you're willing to do or your partner is willing to do. So there may need to be some truthful discussions that happen here, and so that everyone can get on the same page with what their true, genuine needs are and what their desires are. So we also have the moon. Yeah, I mean, definitely there's a need for honesty, for trust, for communication here, and also working through any areas that come up that need to be addressed. So I want to look at sort of underneath the surface. Okay. All right, so there is a need to really let go of some things that may have happened in the past. And we did say that earlier, I believe, that, you may be sort of working through something that has previously happened here, but we're seeing a direct need here to address that, because that is something that subconsciously is going to continue to create barriers or roadblocks for you, or continue to create contrast or conflict in the relationship if you're not really truly addressing what that is. So it could be like something in particular that happened. So I'll just say like maybe it's cheating or something. And this is just an example, but I'm just saying like, okay, maybe it's cheating, and maybe the issue is like, okay, when you're looking underneath the surface, when you're delving more deeply into it, and you're open to having the true, honest discussions that you would need to have, you may find that, okay, you're not spending enough time together, or, there's needs that aren't getting met in some way. So this is about like really being upfront and honest about what that, and addressing what the root cause of whatever this contrast is, so that you can address that, and not just like smooth things over on the surface and try to move forward. So this is like really getting down to the root cause of things and exploring that and working together to come up with solutions on that benefit you and your partner. And if you're not in a relationship, you can definitely apply this to different scenarios, however it resonates with you. And you can even apply it to just within yourself here. So there's maybe things that you can put effort towards exploring and overcoming any resistance or any fears or doubts or anything that's keeping you distracted from achieving and accomplishing your goals, or even opening yourself up to love. So there's many ways that you can apply this message here. I'm going to move that down a little bit. We're still in the camera. Okay. All right, so let's look at your beliefs here. So you do believe in just having fulfillment, blessings, harmony. You want to create that environment where it's a healthy relationship. So when I say healthy, that's like, yeah, there's fulfillment there. There's unconditional love. There's challenges that come up, but you work through those and you find situations or solutions that can benefit all parties that are involved. So when I say healthy relationship, that's what I mean. And you do truly believe that that is a place that you can get to, or that is something that you are truly desiring here. All right. And you may also have a little bit of, so this is actually not true here, but you may be feeling just unsure about whether it's possible to have that type of love in your life, and it absolutely is. So you may want to explore if there's any fear or doubts around that, or any belief systems that you do have that say that, toxicity means love, or just abuse or neglect, or, anything that just is not aligned with the true authentic version of yourself. And that brings you a feeling of uneasiness, of being unbalanced, of just anxiety, fear, anything that's bringing out lower vibrational type of energy within you is not true for you. And you may find that that's something that does need to be explored here, because that is not what a loving, unconditionally loving relationship would look like. And you know that, but you are potentially, maybe if it resonates, sort of struggling between the two here, because and this is not for everybody, but some individuals may think that, okay, well, if a person is toxic, then that means they love me, or that means it's a twin flame relationship. And that's not what twin flame relationships are at all. Twin flame relationships are when you both are on a higher frequency, and potentially your highest frequency, and you're working and you're growing and you're expanding individually, but then you also come together to support each other in that expansion process. And that is where sort of that unconditional love and support is built from that strong foundation, where it does bring about areas within yourself where you feel like, okay, this is a little triggering for me, so I need to address this. And you can do that in a positive way and in a constructive way. So that is a twin flame relationship. So you are sort of figuring that out for yourself here. So let's see your approach here. Okay, so you may be digging your heels in, and you may be like, look, it got to be this way. I'm not compromising. I'm not collaborating. I want it like this, and that is it. So you will get some messages here, but typically when you are going to not compromise or not be flexible or not be open, that's going to make it more difficult for you to resolve things. And you know that. I mean, I know I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. We also have the 6 of Pentacles here as well. All right. So this could be, there's a strong message here to not try to compare your relationship with others, or try to compare like where you are or certain situations and scenarios, and like, oh, well, when, my bestie and her man did this, then, this was the result of that. So we should be doing things like that. So this is really about you like not doing that comparison and not focusing on where others are at, and also not presenting to others that, like everything's perfect, everything's fine. And you don't have to tell your personal business. Of course, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying like just a little more honesty and understanding. And even if it's just you sort of taking a little bit of a step back and not speaking on it or not talking about it, so that will allow you that time that you need to get your house in order and to work through things on your own with your partner. And I'm specifically seeing like posting things like on social media, like, everything's good when, or there's just, I don't want to say rumors, but there's just like a lot of things going on. So it's known that, yeah, maybe you are working through something with your partner. So, maybe it is about like not posting that on social media and just kind of working through your things here. And don't come for me. I'm just hearing, communicating what I'm hearing. And, you are free to post whatever it is that you desire. I'm just saying like there's a need for you to be, more focused on what your priorities are. And I feel like what I'm hearing is like it's really about like working through things within your relationship and making that, putting that at the forefront here. So just be mindful of that, I would say. All right, so let's look externally here. So we do have the Four of Cups. All right, and then you are potentially like, okay, so we were just talking about here about how like, yeah, there may be a little bit of gossip going on around you. So there may be some things that are known and individuals are talking about. But this is really just that confirmation of me that you should really be focused on what's important to you, your partner, your family unit, your relationship, and what others are saying is just none of your concern. And you can help that by maybe taking a little bit of a step back and shifting your focus. This is also a time for you to be appreciative and grateful for what you do have at this time. And of course, if you're deciding that it's no longer for you, then that is the blessing that is coming to you at this time, because that is what you need for your situation. But if you are deciding that this is something you want to work through, you want to continue to work on strengthening the bonds and work through any contrasts or challenges, then that can start with gratitude and appreciation. And not necessarily drilling down in on the areas of issues, but, looking at everything as a whole. And, ensuring that you're talking about the things that you love and the things that you enjoy in the partnership, as well as those needs that you have and those things that you are really desiring to see and wanting. This may also be opportunity for you to run things through your heart space as well as your crown chakra. So viewing things from not just an emotional place, but seeing how it feels like with your energy, how it makes you feel, but also looking at it from an objective viewpoint, from a logical viewpoint. And I'm seeing like some of you may get a little overly emotional at times, or you may rely more on your emotions. So if you're able to bring in a more objective viewpoint and really work to take yourself out of the situation and view it from a higher perspective, you can see the different viewpoints and the different perspectives that are involved, and that may help you to make a more balanced type of decision and take a more balanced approach to working through and resolving any contrast. So we also have the Hermit here in reverse, and I'm going to leave it in reverse because I am hearing that this is a moment for you to not necessarily retreat, but to really work on the things that you are desiring to see change here. So if that, again, is something that you're desiring and wanting, then it is time for you to take that inspired action toward it. Okay, so some may be like shying away from the conversation or not wanting to really see the truth in things or deal with the truth here, but you are being guided to go for it, because if you don't, then it will at some point will come to you anyway. So what else do we have? The Ace of Cups. Yes. And so for some of you, if you are desiring love, we do have that coming in for you and being available to you. So I'll just kind of say that here as a side note. And then for others of you, this may be about just sort of making that renewed commitment and resetting things. And, you know, again, as, you know, I'm saying here, just kind of talking through things and seeing what you need and seeing what the plan is for the goals that you do have. So you may decide like, okay, you know, we're going to incorporate more date nights, or, you know, we're going to watch more of our favorite shows together, or, you know, we're going to go on vacation, or we're going to, you know, whatever it is, whatever you're desiring to see and wanting, and it works with you and your partner, that's what you're being guided to do here. So this is about like what would be fulfilling to you. What does a fulfilling, healthy, romantic relationship look like for you? Okay. Because it is absolutely available to you. All right. And then absolutely releasing some burdens here, releasing anything that is, you may want to also just kind of look at your priorities here. And I'm always promoting like discussing and talking about things and what you need and what's going on with you. So you may even find that it's beneficial for you to take a moment and sort of work through those things and focus on what are the priority items. So you may have like 20 things, and maybe only 2 of those things are a priority. The other 2 are just like, oh, you know, well, you know, sometimes this or that, or, you know, it may not be as much of a priority for you. So you'll have to play that by ear, and it's going to be different for everyone's situation. But this to me is really about like focusing on those top priority issues and working through those and allowing the other smaller, not as important issues or unimportant issues to sort of dissipate. So let go of some of those things, because some of it is about just like, you know, one-off type of things that have happened in the past that you're still carrying with you, and it is time to let those things go. And again, that would depend on how you feel about that and what is important to you. But releasing what you can is going to be most beneficial to you. Okay, so let's get some oracles here. You know what? I'm going to get these. I love these, and I always forget these. So, all right, so we do have passion coming through with magnetic and seductive qualities surrounding you at the present moment. Enjoy it. So I love that. That is wonderful to see. And then we have manifesting miracles. Your dream is soon to become reality. So trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. That is such a wonderful way to end. All right, Aries, thank you so much for watching, and have a great week.